Hi guys, so we're here picking up Caitlin where we went by Health Hut, and look at all the veggies we got. These are all in fruits. These are organic, non-GMO for our chicken and rabbits. It's a big day for us today. We're gonna pick up Caitlin, the girls, and we're gonna go to Honeytree Farm today and meet up with obviously Casey and Tori, but also Jason from Sow the Land is gonna be there, and we were invited to come and hang out and just get to know them, which I thought was kind of awesome. You all set? So how do you feel today, Caitlin? We're gonna go meet Jason from Sow the Land.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
I'm really excited. I haven't met Casey and Tori yet either. But
Awesome.
I've seen pictures of the farm and it looks amazing.
Yeah. So I'm excited. All right, let's get going. So we are at Honeytree Farm. So we're hoping that Jason and from Sow the Land and I don't know if his wife will be here or not. But
You know, we wanted to come here just so that we can get a first-person perspective, like some insight into what their filming style looks like what is it about them that makes them different. And at the same time, I also wanted to give y'all a tour around here at Honeytree Farms. And I mean, it's pretty nice here, as you can see. I mean, this is probably gonna get torn up soon, but I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool. Casey and Tori, they're very friendly, and they're very, very welcoming. And I want to, give a shout out to them for inviting us here, and for really opening up many opportunities for us, for 319 Farms, and not just for 319 Farms, but also like just for us as a family. It kind of forms a better connection here as a community, not just as friends, but more of family. You can't really explain it unless you experience that yourself. Here's one of the recent tunnels they put up. This is really cool. It's a nice garden bed here. We just want to get to meet Jason from Sow the Land and just get to know them. I know we can put labels on people, but we just want to get to know them as as just a normal person, as a family.
As I'm sitting here editing, I felt the need to stop and describe today on a different day, because this was filmed a few days ago. I felt the need to stop and describe why it is kind of a little more important to us to meet these other YouTubers. I know that we had someone, I think it was either on Instagram or Facebook, kind of asked us, what's the deal with all the Justin Rhodes videos? Because we had a few, kind of not back to back, but we never really explained why. To us it was kind of more like, wow, this is a really cool moment for us, because you have to understand that for us, when we decided to make that change and go into homesteading, farming ideal, moving from the city, going out into a rural area and basically pioneering a farm, these people were, when I say these people, individual channels of Justin Rhodes Show. Then it kind of branched off to Art and Bree, because they came on shortly after we started watching. Then that branched off into Sow the Land, as well as the Fit Farmer, which used to be Big Pond Farmer at that time. And there's a few others kind of scattered in there. I think Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, they were another couple that we were watching frequently and learning all these new things about homesteading. Just, it piqued our interest. These were the individual YouTube channels and people that were filming their lives. That was a pivoting point for us. They're integral in helping us make that decision to branch out and move. They were part of that major decision for us. And for us, that's just a little more important than maybe the individual consumer of that show, someone that's just kind of watching it for entertainment. We were really watching it to learn and then dream and then take that big leap. So when we talk about these individuals, I think it's just important that you guys as viewers understand a little more in depth for us why they're important and why we find it a little more cool than the other average person that might be watching them. So I just wanted to stop and pause the video for a moment just to kind of explain that a little more in detail so you guys understand. Because like I said, we had someone that kind of questioned, like, what's the big deal? So for us, it is a big deal because that was part of what made that's part of what opened our eyes to see living in a different lifestyle that really has made a huge impact on us. So we're grateful to have these opportunities to meet them and to interact with them and to maybe visit their farm or their homestead and kind of pick their brains a little bit more one-on-one. Just basically, like my son explained, to build community with them. So, all right, back to the show.
Kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
This is what I want to. This is what I want to do at our place. You know, I want to put about 2 of these.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. See that? If we can get 2 of those, right, just to get started, and see, you know, if we whatever else they can teach us, because they're proven, right? We're not. I want to go and do something that's proven, not to get rich, just that it's proven, so that, you know, it lives up to the, you know, the standard that I'd like to keep, or at least their standard, right? So I want to mimic what it's already working for him. I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. So yeah, it's cool, and and just meeting everybody that he's introduced us to, it's been really encouraging. It makes it real, you know? When you see it on screen, it's like, oh, cool. And it's like, okay, it's for real. It's not just, you know, power on, power off. So these are the 2 that I think we could start off with. I think these are only 14, if I'm not mistaken. I can ask Casey. And then the drip, this is what confuses me with the drip lines. But,
Yeah, this is something that's simple. I mean, you hook it up to a hose or, you know, some kind of water source, and there's valves right there. And what it does is it actually it drips water slowly as the seeds are growing. So that way you don't overwater the soil.
how wide are these tunnels, Casey?
Like 14.
I told Ben that's what I want to do. I want to get 2 of these to get started.
Mm-hmm.
Let them, you know.
We
go
started
work
with
on
2.
it.
They're
Yeah.
like $1,400.
Yeah.
And that's
like
a bed
to
of
do that.
carrots. If you sell them, it pays for it.
So you know who this is. This is Casey from Honeytree Farm. This is Jason from Sow the Land. We've been, you know, we're OGs, all right? We're original. We've been watching him.
watchers?
Yeah, original. Yeah, original watchers. All W's. Yeah, and so, you know, it's kind of neat. I wanted to ask you a few questions, if I could.
Yeah.
One is, when you go to film, like, just for YouTube, right? Like, what approach do you play? Do you have it all like pre-written in your mind, or how? Like, because I have a hard time
Yeah.
just trying to figure out, like, where do I start?
Right. How do you start the day?
Yeah, like, how do I start the day that would make it entertaining? Because the audience, their taste is different than mine.
Yes. For me, I don't like planning it. I mean, I think 90% of what we film is not planned. I mean, some things are, of course, you know, we do like specific how-to videos or something like that. That's planned. But like today, I don't know what I'm going to be filming. I know we're coming here to maybe get some food or something. And
then you run into us.
yeah, then we run into you guys, which is cool. And so it's just like, just turning on the camera and just going about the day. And that's all it is. Like, it's not like, how can I make this entertaining, or how can I make this more beneficial for somebody to watch?
So a fly on the wall.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
No, because you know, it looks like that's what I was trying to tell him, like, you know, having met the people through Casey and Tori, you know, like Justin Rhodes, and
Yeah.
it looks like you could just turn on a button and there's Jason doing his thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then, like, I meet you and I talk to your wife and your daughter, and then now it's almost like more real, more obtainable. Like, okay, this is a real thing.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
No, yeah.
one thing is to see somebody on TV,
Right.
and then, you know, and then I see somebody that's really doing it, and they're genuine about it.
Yeah, like, we're real people.
Yeah. not like
Yeah.
choreographed or
Right, we're not
skidded.
acting or anything. We're just real people, just going about our day. We just happen to have a camera in my hand.
What do you think about the YouTube genre, like the homesteading? You think it's saturated? Is there still room to grow? What are your thoughts?
I think it's not saturated. I think there's definitely more room to grow. I think more people need to be talking about it. I think the more the better. I don't think it's saturated at all. And I think because it's all perspective, somebody might follow you guys for YouTube channel because they really like your story, they really connect with you. People might watch us because the same thing, they connect with us, but then they might not connect with you, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's what's great about it. Like,
well, another thing, like when I watch your channel, you're very creative. Where'd you learn all that woodworking?
that was like, I took a class before we made this move from California to North Carolina. I came from an office background, like an engineering background, so that's all I did, that's all I knew. But I also liked kind of working with my hands, and that's what I wanted to do, was work with my hands and get out of the office.
I was in finance.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, get out of sitting down all day. And so I took like this adult education class before we left, kind of like a little crash course of like, how do you use a table saw? Like, I didn't know how to use a table saw properly. And this was just like the year before we left. And so I just thought, well, I should learn these things so that way maybe that might be some kind of an income that we could have if we moved. Because I liked doing these things, I just didn't know how. And so I took this adult class and just kind of like how to use a bandsaw, how to use hand tools, you know, just how do you use these things. And so like I accumulated those things and just kind of really just kind of learning as I'm doing them since I've been here. And I didn't really do that stuff in California. It wasn't until we moved here where I just kind of like just kept learning and just figuring it out of how to do it.
Because like when you see, like, just looking at you, right? Mm-hmm. And then you break open your shed with all your tools. Yeah. It looks like he's been doing it for years. Like seriously, it just right. You know, you look the part, right? And like for me, the same thing. It's like people don't understand that, you know, I was in banking, mm-hmm. you know, and I love working because my grandfather back in Peru was a carpenter.
Oh, okay.
So I always enjoyed spending time with him. Yeah. So I always wanted to work with my hands. Plus, there's more satisfaction. Yeah. Right? So like lately, I've been on this kick of a mill.
Okay.
I want a mill. So I can just start making the smell of wood and everything else. So as you're telling me your story, I'm just like laughing inside because I'm like, yeah, it's very similar, you know? It just kind of like an awakening, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, and then, you know, one of the other things, like what would be like something you would share with us? I mean, we're little. We only have like 801 subscribers. What would you say to us? I know you don't know us, but you just met us right now. But what would you encourage us? What would you say to us or anybody else just starting off? You know, we just have an iPhone. You know?
Right. Yeah. And then that's where I started, was with the iPhone. I think that's good. I mean, you start with what you have first and see if you like doing these things and like creating this content, and then and it's just wanting to improve. And the next, you know, you have this big old camera. This is a brick compared to that, you know.
That's your second child.
Yeah. This is a big old fuzzy weird thing, you know. But that's just wanting to improve and wanting to be better, you know, and that's good. But I would say patience is huge.
Can you grow that?
It's a struggle. I still struggle with that. It's just trying to be patient of what you're doing and enjoy the journey and enjoy the process, which I never really understood even before, because you know, for me, I want everything now. I want it to happen now. I want to do all the things. I want to build all the structures.
Yeah.
But you know, you cannot do that, because you'll just ruin your mind. And so like patience. You know, enjoy the process, and also know that there's no end to the process.
Yes, that's the first time I ever heard that. Was the first time I met Casey. Mm-hmm. Right? He says there's no finish line. No. And I was like, wow.
But it's not. There's no end, and there's also no winner.
Right.
It's just us just living and trying to figure out this. You know. So I think those things. And also with like YouTube, like just being consistent with it all. You know?
See, we haven't, to be honest with you, just because we don't know if we're doing it right or wrong or what it is.
And there's no right or wrong. Like the more you do it, the more you'll get comfortable. Like
Now, the one thing I've enjoyed, really have enjoyed, that I feel like is the community. Mm-hmm. As I've met like, you know, Casey and you guys and Justin, just the realness. There's always a business aspect to it, right? It's got to be sustainable. Yeah. Right. But there's a realness, like the goal, the intimacy, I guess. And I just seen that. I seen like a lot of knowledge being shared. It's not like, proprietary.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like copyrighted. It's like, no, we want you, try it.
Yeah.
You know, and that has been very encouraging. It motivates me.
Yes, I agree, and that's just something that I never thought of when we moved here, that there was a community like that. But it wasn't until we're actually in it and that we like realize that yes, there's no like you said, there's no hoarding knowledge. Like I want you to be successful.
Yeah.
Because you're successful, like that makes me successful. You know what I mean? Like it just makes everybody successful, and everyone's happy. You like it's okay. Even though we're doing the same thing, like it's okay. There's enough to go around.
Yeah. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that was good. That was fun.